I am live on the right live stream. Scooter, I don't know what you were trying to say the minute we went out of there. Hi, Victoria. Victoria, hi, Gail, Lola, Bucky, Ann. Prime Objective. Let's try to finish the WhatsApp text tonight. I think we're going to be finished today. Those. Okay. We were on, I believe we were, okay. Let's see where we were. Oh boy. So. Okay. So she told me the package arrived in London. I just texted, so hopefully be out for delivery, I guess Monday. If they don't do it, tomorrow, she said. And then, hold on, let me get, just want to put this down because we are on chapter 13 of the Jaybells, the YouTube imposter who invaded our life. And why are we at, oh, excuse me, I've got the wrong thumbnail there. It's this one, part 13, chapter 13. So I said, oh, wow, it's early. She said, yes. So then, let me see here. So then she said, by the way, I sent her package finally in case she sends you a message for receiving it. She sent such a weird message. She's talking about Casbat. After I told her to expect it this week, I said, what did she say? She said, well, it was Rosh Hashanah. Now, Rosh Hashanah is the Jewish New Year. But remember, Jaybells isn't Jewish, so she's fake Jewish, okay? A week ago, she wished me a sweet New Year and asked if that was correct. I didn't reply until I said I sent the package. And I said, yes, that's what you say. So she said she was very excited for the package. And she said she was discussing the days of awe with a colleague, and it made her think of me. Because remember, you told me. I'm like, huh? This is Jaybells all talking. This is all her. It sounded a bit threatening. I don't tend to hide the fact I'm Jewish, but what does that mean? I didn't respond to her. Now, Jaybells isn't Jewish, okay? So just so you know, okay? She's a liar. So I said, She says, I don't know if I just read into everything with her now, but it gave me the shivers. I said, gosh, I'm so sorry. The high holy day slipped by me this year. Happy New Year. She said, oh, don't worry about it. Thank you so much. XXX. Get out of here. She's not even Jewish, okay? She's a liar. Everything about her is a lie. Everything about this girl is a lie. Lady. Woman. I said, did you get the package? She goes, no. It still says we'll deliver on the 1st, LOL. I said, LOL, that sucks. She said, typical. It's 4 miles away. Otherwise, I'd go to the depot, but that's a train away. I'll wait. 40 this week, dude. Freaking 40. No, she's not. Another lie. I said, I know. Happy early birthday. She goes, oh, no, I'm not reminding you. I'm nervous. See, I didn't say she reminded me. She has a guilty freaking conscience. She was reminding me. Guilty freaking conscience. Okay? Oh, no, I'm not reminding you. I'm nervous. How did that happen when I'm only 29? I said, oh, I know what you meant. I'm only 29, too. She said, LOL, shite me. Then she said, haha, well, exactly, you get it. It's a mathematical improbability. I said, truly. She said, if you lived in the UK, your first colonoscopy wouldn't be mandatory till you're 55. I said, LOL. She said, LOL. Then she said, sending huge hugs, you got this. That was at 7:22 in the morning of my colonoscopy. Then at 11:05 p.m., I said, did the movie show for you? She said, no, I was unwell, not myself. I said, sorry to hear that. What's wrong? She said, it's okay. I'm just not me. I said, same stuff as last time we talked or something different? This is right after my colonoscopy. Can't even let me celebrate my colonoscopy being done. You know, I was so worried about it. She goes, I don't remember. I went to the hospital, but no swelling or bleeds, she says, instead of bleeds. My thoughts are slow. I can't stop trying. She means crying, I'm sure. I said, you were in the hospital? She said, they are all jumbled up. I said, yesterday? She said, night. They said I'm tired. I said, okay, for your thoughts. Are you sleeping? She said, not really. They gave me medicines for it. Then she said, I didn't know what to do. I tried call people to ask for their help, but it wasn't answered. I can't remember who answered in the end. I don't know what doing. See how she's writing? She goes, I sound crazy. I'm sorry. It's okay. I'm sorry. I'm just not myself. I said, when? When were you calling? She goes, yesterday. I didn't call you because I knew you had things yourself yesterday. Yeah, my colonoscopy, honey. I said, can't you look at your phone to see who you called? Then she said, I called Lisa D, Lisa, and Nick. I said, and you couldn't get them? She says, no. Then she says, I called the hospital, but I couldn't remember if they said to rest or go in. And then I spoke to, I think, Bella. She answered, told me to go in and what to do. And I said, right, this was for you, Tuesday night? She says, well, I tried to call in the day, I think, and later those peoples. I said, you were speaking with me Tuesday early morning. She says, yes. I had not had a seizure. I know that, but I couldn't stop crying. Everything was slow. Words I was using, wrong words. I didn't make sense. I'm doing it better now, but I'm scared. I just want to be myself. I said, are you sure you did not have one of those standing seizures? She said, I didn't. I'm really certain of it. I don't know what to do. I don't know. I just want to be better. I don't want to be just laying here by myself, but I can't do anything about it. I said, right, I know. She said, I am rambling. Sorry. I said, it's all right. And then this is a little bit of a replay from that.
The typing's a little bit hard. I just want to be back to myself. I just want to be back to myself. Yeah.
Listen to her. Let's listen to her and know. I want to listen to her again and know that she is a scammer full of absolute shite.
The typing's a little bit hard. I just want to be back to myself. I just want to be back to myself. Yeah.
Okay. Liar. Liar, 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 liar. Hi, Flyer B. Hi, Flyer. How are you? No, we're going through this crap. I have a lot of other people causing me trouble, but we're just going over this. We're trying to get this all out there into one playlist as best we can. So then she sent to me, Elvis, loving her new stuff. Thank you for everything. It's terrific. Thank you so much. I said, oh, you got it. She said, it came at like 8 a.m. Fantastic stuff. All the sunflowers. I freaking love it. Thanks so much. And Water Buffalo. Elvis is in her element. I said, the glass board survived, I hoped. She said it survived intact. Yes, I'm so pleased with the fall stuff. I love it. I said, good. Glad you like it. She said, yes, so much. Hope you're well. Then I said, yes, the pain went away, thankfully. She says, oh, thank goodness, that's good. I've had Chinese food attempted to be delivered to my house for the third time tonight. It's 25C. I haven't asked for it. I've asked everyone else. You didn't send it, did you? Random, I know. I said no. She said, okay, thanks. Had to go through everyone. I've been tried 3 times tonight. All have my address on it. 25C is my apartment. I said, oh. She goes, yeah. When I text, it was the once. Now it's been 3 times. I've had people do something similar, but they always tell me or say a surprise is coming, but not Chinese food like this, not a meal or anything. Anyway, thanks. October 3rd, I say happy birthday. She says, thanks so much. Are you meeting with Bella? She sends me a picture of them sitting down in a restaurant or something. She said, we are just finishing up. I said, you know, she says, you know, I'm not so good in real time at saying some things, but what I wanted to say to you tonight was thank you. Without you, without all you do, and without you being you, today would have been very different. The people, me, it all. I'm grateful to you and for you. Thank you for everything. Love you, XX. I said, oh, thanks, and can't imagine not having you in our lives either. All part of a greater plan. Love you. And then she sent me that pizza. I'm deliberately going over, so we're catching up, okay? She said, so this is 40, pizza in bed, watching garbage, not too shabby as Sunday. Then she sent me the crackle medium. Is this the crackle glaze you use? And then she said, I've come to a crossroads. Today my landlord has texted to say he's selling my house. I said, yes, on the crackle, but what does that mean? Your apartment? She said, it means I have to move. I said, are you sure? Maybe the new owners will want it as an investment property. She said, but does that mean I move home? Meaning she's home, New York. Yeah, it's not her home. Or here, I don't know yet. It could be very quick or months away, I just don't know. I said, are you allowed to stay? She says, okay, sure, it's hard to tell, it may be. Good point, though, I hadn't thought of that. I said, right, and that is usually how it works here. Then I said, apparently, we're talking, okay, there's a bunch of stuff about Chris Watts' case here, because that's when that new thing came out, So then she said when she called, she tried to me, she couldn't get me, so she called Jimmy, and she couldn't get Jimmy, and she didn't know how else to call, and she's freaking out, okay? I didn't get your notifications that weren't going through. Don't panic when you get this message. I said, we were without phone, internet, and cable until now. This is October 9th, 2020. She goes, I got a call to tell me about Robbie's video. Nice one, Kaz. Marvelous. Thanks. I said, who called? She said, Loopy Lisa. And she's talking on and on about him. Who cares? Okay, I'm not going to... Okay, let's see. Then I said it's very cold. She said it's cold there. She's wrapped up in a blanket next to the radiator. I think that it's now cold, dark, slip into winter. Yay. I said, no, not yet. It's supposed to warm up tomorrow. And then she's still talking about different things on YouTube. She's talking about somebody that's freaking her out. Somebody that's freaking her out. Then on October 16th, she says, I hope you rested well and doing okay today, my dear. Last day down of treatment for the weekend, finally 2 days off. I said, oh, good. Yes, I went to bed early. October 18th, 2020, she said, hey there. Hope you're well. So I went to sign the lease today on my new apartment, and he gave me the keys early. October 20th, she said, I'm not going for that place. I don't even like it. I'm just clutching at straws and need to stop looking until I can move. Sorry for the runaround. I said, that's okay. I said, you will find the right one when ready. And then she showed me all the boxes. And remember, I told you the apartments look the same, right? Okay, so we're going to skip ahead because we went here. We went where she showed us the bedroom and where she showed us the living room with the sunflowers in the kitchen that I gave her, right? Okay, so we're over here now. She told me about the bum in the stairway, right? And I said, do you live upstairs? She said, I live downstairs. I said, you mean that's outside? Because she showed me something. And I said, you said gate. And she said, but on my property, I think he was knocking on my door at 4 a.m. I put a scream emoji. And she goes, I heard that, but was too scared to check. I went to take the trash out at like 8 a.m. and he was right freaking there. She said, I just shut the door. I didn't want to ask him to move in case he had a knife or something. I checked an hour later and he was gone. I said, good idea. She said, but I bought a Ring doorbell now and put the lock on the gate. I think I will be okay. It will be okay. I said, at least he was not like the one at your house, remember? And then she said the guy went in there and she lived in Brooklyn at the time. No, she didn't. No, she didn't. Okay. And then she started again to talk about somebody she was scared of who's in the UK. And let me see here. She's going on and on and on about that person. And let's see. Okay, so on November 3rd, my father's birthday, I said, oh well, yesterday was ridiculous because we had no electricity and no power. I mean, no internet. And so we didn't come right back on until around midnight. By that time, I told Scooter that I was going to try to go live, but that was before we got the power back. And if you did, we wouldn't even have a panel. So she went ahead and went to sleep and said, if it changes, I'll listen for the notification. But she didn't hear the notification, and so I just decided to push the number, just put the number just in the mini brand group. And let me see here. Mr. Shannon debacle. I don't know. Casbat. Mr. Shannonite. Oh, people were saying Casbat was Mr. Shannonite. Oh, that's crazy. Okay. Okay, so she's still talking about this person that she's scared of. Which I'm not going to go into all of that because it's ridiculous. Everything she says is ridiculous, okay? She showed me some crafts she wanted to make. She told me about the spider she's so scared of outside. She can't handle it. She told me she's so scared of spiders, like she can't even get outside. Then she showed me the mold problem. And it's just, she was sat on the floor bawling, not knowing how to put one foot in front of the other. We did this last night, so I'm just kind of breezing through here so we can get to where we are, because we're almost at the end of this. Okay, we're here now. She had a move thing. She had people from the school coming. So here's what she says now. She says, oh well, I'll make a list of what is left to do when I leave tonight and then see what is required. Then we can figure out if there's an appropriate company. I said, okay, let me know what we can do to help find someone. Did you ask your new landlord? He probably knows a lot of people. She said, good point. I hadn't thought. I lost my brain somewhere between the mold and the oven. Thanks so much. Sorry to whine on. Because she said, you're telling me it was all fine, pre-lockdown. I had it set. Even the packing part was tough, man. I am not as strong as I was. Ha ha ha. Oh well, I'll make a list of what to do. Okay, that was that about. She's, thanks so much. Sorry to whine on. I said, okay, good. Call him. I'm sure he knows of a lot of people for that type of thing. She goes, yeah, you're right, he will. Then she says something really quite racist about her people, Jewish people, which I'm not going to repeat, which she calls them a squad that will come to her aid. That's who he sent to move the furniture. She goes, I didn't want out of the new place. Then she said, Hasids, she called them Hasids, scared of Elvis, not making eye contact, ha ha ha, like the old days. I said, oh, really? I said, are you still there or are you home? Isn't it dark? She goes, I'm still here. Yep, it's dark. I'll be here maybe an hour longer. And I said, and you need to walk home? Can't you get an Uber? She said, it depends. Sometimes, yes, availability. And she goes, I have some wheels, though, LOL. And she posts this, and I'm going to show you this package that she has. It's ridiculous. And you know what? I recognize the floor of her new place. So she's totally lying to me. She's already in the new place. She's just such a freaking liar. She just lies and lies and lies. Oh my gosh, this girl lies. She's in the freaking new place because the floors in her other place are different. So let me show you this picture. Just lies. Such a freaking liar. Watch out, Jaybells, your pants are on fire. You watching, Jaybells? You watching? Liar. Okay, she probably is watching. Okay, now let me see here. Hold on, I gotta answer something real quick. That's important. Okay, sorry. I just had to write about a package that was being delivered. All right, let me go and get this now. Where did it go? Oh, there it is. Okay, so this is her wheels, and she's a liar because she said she wasn't in the new apartment. Jaybells, you're such a freaking liar. That's not the floor in your new apartment, you liar, okay? That's not the floor in your old apartment because you already showed me the floor in your old apartment, so you're just nothing but a liar. Nothing but a liar. Okay. You are such a liar. Oh my gosh, you just make me sick. Such a liar. Okay. I said, wheels are good, but walking in the dark is not so good. She goes, yes, true, and it's raining all of a sudden. Oh, okay, an hour has been and gone. Scratch that. I said, wait, what do you mean? You are walking? Now she's a liar because she's already at her new apartment. She goes, hey, letting you know I just got home and I'm so freaking tired, so I'll probably just fall asleep. We'll try to catch up another day. Love yas, XX. I said, okay. Thanks for letting me know. Get some rest. Love you. Then November 11, 2020. She's talking again about somebody that's scaring her in the UK. Then she said, November 12, 2020, okay, I'm away to close up the house now. Have one more load of crap to bring back over, but I hand the keys over tonight. I said, oh, good. Then she goes, November 13th, I had a bad seizure today, so I'm being observed in the hospital. I mean, it's no big deal. I'm doing okay. It's just an observation. Hope you're doing well, X. Then there was a voice call. Then she goes, I watched some of that crazy Truthy Live. Okay, so that she's talking about Truthy McGoo. Then she sends me, if this isn't the saddest, tiniest little crockpot for one you ever did see. And she sends me a picture of this tiny crockpot, okay? I said, why? Did you just get it? But isn't that the whole point? That you make a lot and freeze it? So even one person buys a bigger one? Anyway, I got your card last night, and I showed it on the last part of the live right before we ended. Did you watch that? She goes, yeah, my last one broke. Yeah, it still makes enough to freeze. I said, oh, great. No, she said, yes, my last one broke. Yeah, it still makes enough to freeze. And then she said, oh, great, it came. I said, do you have a super cute, really good, thank you so much? Do you? What? It was, oh gosh, my text. I was supposed to say, it was a super cute, really good, thank you so much. She goes, oh, you're so welcome. It's a pleasure to do. I just saw. I'm so pleased you like it. It's a celebration of you and all you do. And I mean it. It is just so nice to go back over. I think of all the things that come up. Just apologize to Ethan over his hair color. Oh, this is when she sent me that drawing, okay? I overcorrected to the point of it being way off. Love yas, XX. Then she goes, also to clarify, I started these drawings. Maybe I remember you saying how shite it was that YouTube didn't recognize any achievement unless you got 100K subs. And to me, it wasn't about the subs. And when you look at all these jackasses that try to bring you down and say you're in it for the money and you're this and you're that, and what I see is 2,000 freaking videos compared to, she lists a bunch of other people. And then she says, I mean, to me, your volume of content is more than any of that and clearly shows and means so much more. You're there, N2K. Holy moly, I'm so proud of you. I said, okay, thanks so much. We love it. Then we're talking about somebody passive-aggressively starting crap. Let's see. Okay, then she's talking about other people here. Then she goes on November 16th, I'm sorry. I'm such a bad way right now. I feel like I'm having a bit of a breakdown or something. You know, right around this time, I thought I was going to be having a nervous breakdown because she was driving me up a tree. And this is when Sean found out about her, okay? Right around this time. She goes, I feel like I'm having a bit of a breakdown or something. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'll go back and read through properly and listen. I said, what's wrong? Did you go to treatment? She goes, no, I canceled today. I'm sorry. I don't know what's wrong. I'm sorry. I said, really? She goes, I'm losing it a bit. I've got so much and I can't line my thoughts. What do you mean? I said. She goes, I don't even know what I mean. I'm a bit scared. I'm just struggling with everything. I said, did your side and walking get worse? She goes, no, that's okay. I really don't even know what's wrong. I know this sounds nuts, I know. I just don't even know. I'm frightened and can't get a grip on anything. I said, so what did they say when you canceled? What are you struggling to do? She said, well, it was just the administration, really. The reception people, so not much. I'm struggling to do anything. I just lose the whole day. and I don't remember it, and cry a lot. I'm freaking out with panic attacks, and I don't know. I said, you cannot remember the day or what you did? She goes, well, yeah, I guess. I don't know if I sleep it away or what. I said, do you eat? Feed Elvis? Walk Elvis? She said, I haven't walked her in a little while, no, but I feed her for sure. I said, what about yourself? She said, I'm so sorry. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm sorry. I think I manage for the most part. I don't have huge appetite. I said, you should call the doctor. She said, I know I should. I said, please do. Tell them. She goes, I'm worried what might happen, though. I don't want to go anywhere. I said, what do you mean? She said, I mean, I don't want to leave my house or have to sit and talk to doctors. I said, I know, but you have to. You have to go for treatments and stuff. She goes, but I don't even feel able to do that. I said, you don't feel like you're able to go to the treatment center? She said, I feel like I don't want to do that anymore. I said, you don't want to go for treatments anymore? She goes, no, I don't think I do. It's so hard. I said, see, now I think at this point, this may be when she knew Sean was finding out about her, and I think perhaps, could she be thinking that she has to kill herself off? You know what I'm saying? I said, are you still taking the chemo? She goes, I don't really do anything either, just sit in my home. It's not much of a life or anything. I said, how long have you been feeling like that? She said, I'm not sure. I'm really scared. And it's not right for me to say any of this to you. I'm sorry. I said, did you talk at all with your doctor about the treatments or stopping them? She said, I haven't mentioned about stopping them. I did a long time ago, but not recently. I said, I mean, do you want for treatment on Friday night, and so today you miss, but then you're going to say something if you don't go tomorrow, right? She goes, yes, they will call me if I don't attend to check on me. She said, I was just on the phone with Lisa D, not for long. I don't even remember anything she said. I don't remember hearing a word. I just said I had to go, and I'd call her back. I said, do you remember we talked on the phone? We talked on Friday on the phone? She goes, I remember we talked. I said, oh, but you can't remember your conversation with Lisa? She goes, I know I was just on the phone for maybe 20 minutes, and she was talking, but I don't know what she was talking about. I couldn't listen. I said, why? You couldn't focus, or your head hurt, or what? She goes, I just stare into space. I don't know. I couldn't keep track. I said, did she notice? Did she say anything? She said, I just couldn't take it in. I don't remember. She just texted me and said, I'm sorry. I was going on and on. I said, She goes, anyway, it's late. I won't keep you. I'm sorry. I think maybe I'm just overwhelmed, and it will all come right in a day or two. I said, oh, okay. Don't be sorry. Tell me what you need me to do for you. If you need me to talk, that's fine. If you need me to call, that's fine. Whatever. I'm here for you. She goes, thanks. I don't know what I need. I'm not sure at all. I just know I'm scared. I don't like feeling like this. I said, I'm sure you don't like feeling like that, and it must be scary, and I'm thinking that you do need to call the doctor and let them know how you're feeling. She said, yes, I will. I'm going to schedule an online appointment for today. I will try to call Lisa back and see if I can take things in case I freaked her out by leaving the call so quick. And then she said, thank you, and I'm sorry. I said, okay, you are overwhelmed, and maybe you need some rest. She said, yes. I said, love you. Call me if you need me. She love you too. She said, thanks. Then, again, she's talking about the person in the UK she's afraid of. Okay. Then she's showing me that someone is cooking in her apartment, and that is that Freddie lady. I said, oh no, did you have your appointment? What did they say? And then she goes, she is cooking. I said, that's good. Hope you're doing okay. She goes, I didn't go again today. Someone from something called a crisis team will be in contact later. I said, is your friend still there? She goes, no, she left after I fell asleep last night. I said, oh, wow, I hoped she'd stay. You did not feel up to going again? She said, I just don't feel able to leave the house. I said, I see. So they're calling a crisis team? She said, yes. I said, what is that exactly? She said, I just want to be myself again. Mental health support. I said, I see. When will they come out? She goes, I mean, I know I sound crazy, but I'm not mental. I'm just not me. It will be called. They already called. They are going to assess if I'm safe or something to wait to see my GP, or if not, they will assess. It's not like that, though. I'm just scared. My mind is failing me. I said, sure, I understand. She said, I'm sorry. I feel terrible saying any of this to you. I'm sorry. I said, did you feel any better with your friend there? I said, don't be sorry. I understand. It's very scary. She said, yes, it helped for a while. It was less scary. And she put on some mindfulness for me to fall asleep to, but I think it was more, I knew she was there. I was so scared to sleep. I said, what is she cooking? She said, and I said, and I didn't mean that was good that she was cooking. And I didn't mean that was good that she was cooking. I wasn't kidding. Well, hold on. And I did mean that was good that she was cooking. I wasn't kidding. She said she made a concoction of stuff. I had eggplant, bacon, tomatoes, and potatoes. It was actually nice, but I couldn't eat too much. I said, why couldn't you eat? She said, no, I ate. I did. I asked her to put a small amount on my plate, and I ate most of it. I just don't have a big appetite. I don't feel hungry at all. Yeah, I don't even believe that at all, okay? So I said, so what are your thoughts today about continuing treatment? She said, I feel, and it's hard to say, I don't like my life very much. I think she knew that Sean was on to her. I said, but it can change. She said, it feels hard to fight for something I don't like. It doesn't feel like it will change. I said, well, if you can get through the rest of the treatments and get to the United States. She goes, yes, I have what have your doctors been saying? She said, they have said that I need to speak to someone about it, someone on the team of people to have access to it. Told me to take a few days, that it's normal, that people waver here and there. They said it's a lot of work to not push through, and as is done, a lot of work. I said, right, but they're not encouraging you to stop treatment. She goes, no, they aren't. I said, okay. Then she said, I'm sorry. This is November 17th. I'm trying. I really am. I just stare at the walls all day. I said, do you feel like playing your guitar or the piano? She says, I don't find that enjoyable right now. I don't know how to get out of bed. I don't know what to play. I said, how about enjoying that drawing that you're doing? What do you mean? Play the songs you always play. She goes, carry on the drawing? I said, yeah, I thought you were going to take that and do some more drawing or something. And she said, yeah, I did. I just need to do it again, tidier. I said, okay, so that's something to do. Does that give you enjoyment to draw, or is it too stressful? She says, okay, well, I'll try. I said, okay, that's good, but if it's too much, don't worry. She said, well, it beats this crap, I suppose. I don't know what she put on there. Let me see. Brothers and sisters. I said, what is that? LOL. She said, Brothers and Sisters. It's old, with Rob Lowe and Sally Field. I said, oh, I think I remember now. It's an old NBC show? She said, yeah. I said, I never watched that. I used to watch This Is Us, but I missed like the last 2 seasons. She said, oh, I think I saw the first season on that. I said, I need to start the Nexium cult thing. She said, what is that? I said, it's on Stars, and it's about the Nexium cult that was in Albany, New York. She said, is that Rainier? I said, it's called Seduce. She said, okay. I said, there's also something on HBO called The Vow, but my daughter said that's a biased production and to watch the one on Stars. She says cult stuff I get a bit obsessed about. I'll try give it a go. Maybe I have to come again so we can binge watch more TV. Good to know. And I remember we watched A Letter for Zachary And if you guys haven't seen that, you should. She says, is Stars on Amazon Prime TV? I said, yes, absolutely binging. This is really good. Yes, I believe someone said Amazon Prime as well. She said, okay, great. Love you. Thank you. I said, love you. You're welcome. She's asking me about people. And then there was she asked me about, oopsie, hold on. I gave her some doll videos with the doll talking, and she's like, oh my gosh. She's laughing. She said, I'm actually laughing. These are adorable. Ha ha ha. This is excellent. Then she put her Cecilia doll. She says, Cecilia doesn't think she is awake either. I said, LOL. Then she said, well, that got me up and turning on the light to take that picture. You should totally have a pre-recorded doll open up the show tonight. And then I made her doll talk, and she goes, oh my gosh, I love that. The girls speak sense. And then she goes, oh, don't cry. And then she goes, sneaky, sneaky, I'm out of bed now, and I will be getting a pizza and watching the documentary. And then she sent smiley faces. And then she said, she's talking about somebody leaving things. She's talking about that woman again. I said, I saw that. I had one of the dolls send a message to Scooter. Okay, I said I spoke for 2 hours with Sandra. It was really good. I'm not going to, that's private. It's my private conversation. I'm not going to put that out there. She said, I'm really pleased for you. I said, thanks. I said, are you going in? She said, no, not today. I said, oh no. What do they say? She said, they made an appointment to speak for Friday to speak. I said, I see. So you're not going tomorrow either? She said, I'll try. I'm not trying to go or planning not to. I said, okay, but you're physically able to get there. She said, I think so. It feels like I'm stuck though and so tired. They talked about treating me as an inpatient for a while as perhaps a possibility. I said, okay, something to think about. Sorry if I drift off. I'm really tired and spent emotionally. She said, of course. Hey, you just go to sleep. Night, X. I said, how are you, Jen? She goes, hey, I'm sorry, I'm okay. I said, I asked Sandy to say a prayer for you. I didn't tell her anything about what you have told me, so don't worry. She's been texting all morning and wants me to call her later. She said, okay, thanks. Yes. Let's see. They signed an NDA, and I did the same. She's such a liar. This is such a lie. She never spoke to them. She's just a liar. She said, that's kind. She's a sweet lady. Let's see. Not going to go in. I'm telling her about my conversation. I'm not going to go in that, of course. I don't want to put any of that out there. Let's see. She said, I hate NASCAR, so I'll just stand and watch everything NASCAR and leave some comments to everyone about despising it. It makes no sense. Get a freaking life. She's saying this. Life is much too short to watch and comment on crap you hate. But also, let's say, if it was the case, so what if you have closer people? It's your channel, yours. You can talk to whoever you want. You can block people just because they have a face like a knee if you wish. Wouldn't be well liked, but totally up to you. But out of 30K plus people, it's impossible to equally like everyone, and that would be false. I don't get her points at all. She told me about some comment. Then she said, okay, so in cooking, I think this is a step. She shows me a dish pot on there. I said, yes, good step. Then she says, stair lift scene in Gremlins. That's your future when Jimmy gets a hold of it. I don't know what she's talking about. I said, oh, okay, thanks. Did you go for treatment? She goes, no, I did not. but I have really forced myself to do some things. It's been so hard. I sat on the floor crying a bunch of times, but I have started with some steps, and I'm really trying. I said, okay, I know it's hard. She said, how many members do you have, Patreons? And then she's saying, oh, nice. I don't know why she's worried about my members or my Patreons. I don't know what the hell she's worried about that. She said, I've been working on something today, and she did a Happy Thanksgiving drawing. I'll show you that here. Hold on. Trying to get to this. I'm still here, okay? I'm just trying to get a picture. Okay, so let's see here. And she said, been working on something today. I said, oh, wow. She said, my initial thought was maybe you could send it as a card to members and patrons, but that is a heck of a lot. She goes, maybe digital or an e-card. Working on a Christmas one as well, just playing around. See if you would like them. Could use them for anything, if you wanted to, of course. I said, I like them, I love them. She said, okay, good. That's good then, I'll keep going. And don't forget, let's see, this for scaring, Jeffrey scared, I don't know what that is. She said, I'm going to do one of Jimmy falling down the stairs on his own too. So far on the Christmas one. Okay, and so she started making a Christmas one, but she never ever finished that one because I know I never got that one. Let me see. She has said she had sent this one. Okay, let me see here. All right, and I said, cute. Okay, and I told her some stuff. Let's see. She tried to call me. It was November 19th. I said, sorry. I was in ShopRite. Did not hear the phone. Just saw this now. Then November 23rd, she said, hope you're having a good day. Then on November 24th, she said, after the treatments this week, I've had the worst headache of my life, just in complete darkness. What the heck? This is so awful. I told them about it, and they will do some checks tomorrow before treatment. But there might not be much they can do. It's relentless and constant. Urgh. Sorry, ranting. Love yous. Hope you're doing well. Then she said, November 25th, sending big hugs, my friend. Big, big, big hugs. I said, what do you mean you cannot see? Are you okay? And then she said something about somebody. I said, let them talk when they've been attacked for over 18 months. She goes, I'm okay. Just powering through. I can't shake these headaches. I said, I'm sorry you're in so much pain. She said, that's okay. I'm so sorry for how you're feeling right now. I really wish I was right there with you and could give you a hug. And then I asked her for an address. And she gave it to me. Oh, let's see. Then she said, no problem, love you. And in case nobody told you today, you're a kind, good person. Thank you for saving my life, XX. Then she said, November 26, 2020, happy Thanksgiving, my dear friend. You encourage me so much. When I feel overwhelmed and feel everything I try is pointless, and when I think there is no joy to be had, Thanksgiving isn't about what is on the table, and having everything out sometimes highlights the empty chair. I've made a ridiculous feast, and now I'm deeply regretting it because there's nobody here to eat it. I forced myself so I wouldn't stay in bed crying or stop and think too much. Hey ho, that didn't work. Just reminded me of how alone I am and always will be. But hey, never mind. I'm still trying with all my might to be thankful for something. If you can't be thankful for much this year, just take stock of your beautiful, wonderful family that you do have and lean on them. Let them prop you up. Let Ray protect you and guide you, and get takeout and just do what feels right. I love you so much, and I'm very thankful for your friendship, XX. I said, happy Thanksgiving. Thank you for the drawing. It's super cute. Don't get me wrong. I don't. I have so much to be thankful for, and I am. You're one of the things I'm thankful for, and I wish you could be here with us and not there alone. Did you cook a big feast for yourself? And she says it's ridiculous. 2 pumpkin pies, a cheesecake. LOL, I'm not even hungry. And this is all the food she cooked. I'm going to show you. I remember the the other year she cooked it, right? She cooked it again. Oh, brother, can you spare a dime? I just don't know why that did not load. There we go. There we go. Hold on. She is in the pictures of getting done. Okay. Just a picture of G and I from today came up. Okay. All right, getting her feast up. Hang on. You want a feast, you want a bean feast. Here we go, darlings. Here we go, darlings. Okay, so she's got look at all these potatoes. What is all this and this? What? Why does she have so many potatoes? It's all potatoes. Doesn't it look like all potatoes? It's crazy. Then she said, I decided to make stuff Allie always wanted me to make, but I never did. Not sure I liked pumpkin pie or candied yams, But I have tried to do it. And no worries on the drawing. I'm so thankful for you too. XX. I said, good job, and I'm glad you did. I said, I think I'm also a wreck because last night on the local news there have been many places they are telling people there have been exposures and many positive cases. One of them is a pizzeria in the town of, I don't want to say the towns. I have not been to the blank blank or the pizzeria, but the amount of people in the county that have and are now walking around is really troubling. Jimmy's like it's closing in on us. She said, oh, wow, yes, feels very unsafe when it's circling you. I'm sorry, what a crappy time. I said it's fine, but I would have to... Oh, this is about something else. Okay, hang on. I forgot about somebody else that tells me. I said, I was a mess earlier, got up and made my stuffing, well, making it now. How are you? How is your pain? How is your head pain? She says, okay, I'm just in the bath. I'll call you back when I get out. Then she posted pictures of the pine. She goes, look what I found today on eBay that came today. An old postcard of the pines. Oh, so that's what she probably was hoping to find to show Scooter and I in the confession call and to say that was when she was under her pillow when she was a little girl. Okay, then she says, so Sakura's in Robbie's. I went back and blocked her. I hope that was okay. Only because you said you tried before. She was fully bashing Shanann along with Robbie and passively aggressively attacking you. Robbie wasn't. He was talking about Ronnie Watts and looking at all sides of the puzzle. She sent all these screenshots. I said, okay, sure, that's fine. She goes, okay, good. Just wanted you to know, XX. I said, when was that? She wants to be found out like that. She said, while you were live. I said, oh, really? She said, yes. And then she posted a picture of the thing that I made her for kids. I think she had both things in both my text and here. Isn't that weird? Because I remember like ones here I showed you, so I must have been looking at my text and here. I have to go back and check. Let's see. So she posted this. I want to feast, I want to be feast. Oh, brother. And there were 2 chairs, one for her son and one for her husband that I made her. I remember it's the first Christmas without my son, and I'm making things for her because she's lost her son and husband. Okay? And it's the second Christmas for her. But it's not, because she didn't really lose them at all. She's just a suck of everything. Okay. I said, nice. She goes, I'm sorry. This is December 2nd. I just think I can't see. Now I think by now definitely Sean has found out about her and she's got to kill herself off. I think that was the plan. I'm sorry. I just think I can't do the treatment anymore. I can't do much of anything. I'm sorry. Very sorry for always being so low. I'm no good. I said, why? What happened? Did you talk to the doctor? When did you go for the last treatment? She said, I went today and yesterday. I didn't speak to the doctor yet. I didn't see them. I'm sorry. I'm trying. I'm going. I haven't missed since before. I said, okay, maybe you ate. maybe you are just overwhelmed. Maybe you need to sleep. I know, but I can't keep getting overwhelmed. It's so destructive. Yeah. I said, okay, have you been having seizures? She said, I did in the night. I had one. I had some nightmares, but I don't think it was very long. I'm sorry. I keep trying to be strong and do stuff, and I'm rubbish at it. I said, it's okay. It's hard to just keep being strong. Do you want me to call you? She says, oh, that's okay. It's late for you. I said, it's okay. If you need to talk, I can. 7 a.m. I should be in bed, right? She goes, oh, I just say the same stuff. I said, well, it's okay if you want, or I can call you later. She said, oh, if you have time later, that's okay. Don't worry if not. I said, okay, I'll call you later, but hang in there. It's just a bad day, and it will get better. Love you. She said, love you too. I said, how are you doing? Any better? She says, not sure. I said, okay, sorry to hear that. We have grief counseling now, but I will call you after. She goes, you don't have to. I know those can be tough. You do you. It's okay. I said, sorry, forgot. I'm sorry for calling so late. I didn't even realize how late it was for you because I just got off the phone with Sandra. I just got off the phone with her. But she was getting very jealous of that stuff, right? And I said, I'm sorry, I thought it was going to be a short phone call. I didn't mean to just leave abruptly like that, but I thought I need to get this taken care of and call you right back. Sorry, it went on much longer than I thought. I hope that you're feeling okay. You sounded better when I spoke to you. And I remember, this is when she was really grating on me. This is when I think she was telling me like all these things I could do. I said, I love you. Go get your treatment done. You got a life to live. And I know sometimes you get low, but you have a lot to live for and a lot of people that love you and will be here for you. Love you. Bye. Good night. I said, I hope that made sense because it was a talk to text. She said, okay, X. December 3rd. How are you today? She goes, very, very low. I think if I don't come out of it soon, I'll go to the hospital later. I'll be okay. I said, are you going for treatment? No, she said. Did you have a seizure? Yes, a mild one, she said. I said, okay, is that why you didn't go for treatment? She said, I'm not very well in my head, and I think I need help that won't wait 3 weeks. I said, oh, then you should go in. She goes, yes, I'm sorry. Don't be sorry, I said. They should not make you wait. She goes, I just need to switch off all the pain, everything. I need to not feel it. I said, okay, please call them. She said, okay. I said, okay, please go in. Love you and I'm here for you. How are you? Did you call them? She goes, hi, I'm okay. I'm getting sorted. I said, so you didn't call them? No, I did. I'm getting sorted. I said, oh, they're going to get you in sooner? They told me about a unit that was set up 24/7 in, she doesn't say place, 15 minutes away. Someone from there calling me and they will assess what I need. I said, oh, a hospital unit? She said, yes, separate from the ER. I said, oh, they're calling today? I would keep on them if they don't call you back. She said, yes. She goes, I think I'm losing my mind. I just want it to be over. I said, well, they will help you. You did not sound crazy yesterday. She goes, no, I was being calm. I didn't want to cry anymore. I said, okay, but it shows you're not losing your mind. She said, yes. I said, a lot of things besides what happened can make you anxious or cry. She said, I was going to just walk to the unit. It said I could, emergencies. I said, it doesn't mean you're losing your mind. She said, but the weather is so bad. I freaking slipped on my stairs and got drenched. Yeah, okay. I said, oh no, really? Did you get hurt? Can you call them again? Did you get dry? She goes, I couldn't freaking believe it. I was howling. And Elvis was barking, and I must have sounded like a lunatic. I was just saying, ow, ow, I'm having a really bad day. I've hurt my arm and my stupid back. But it is small fry. Yeah, I changed and climbed into bed. I said, oh my gosh, I wish you were not there alone. That is terrible. I wish I could physically help you. She said, yeah, me too. It's getting hard. I said, I can only imagine, and it is sad for you to be alone. She said, I can't do anything about it. I can't magic people here. I've asked for way too much help already, and from people I don't know so well. It feels a bit like torture. That sounds dramatic, I know. I said, no, it sounds normal. She goes, I don't know what happened in my life that meant that I have to spend it so alone. I don't know. I said, I know, but it is nothing you did. It just sucks. She said, I want my mom, but I don't even remember what she looks like in my head. I said, yeah, normal. Gee, so you need to think of a picture. She goes, I've been trying to. I just can't see her. I said, you have that picture you showed me. Why don't you get it out? She goes, my pictures aren't unpacked yet. I said, it's okay. It might be in your phone because you sent it to me. She goes, okay, you're right. It was. I said, good. Did you hear from them? Hello? She says, yes. I said, did you hear from someone? She said, yes. I said, are you going in? She said, I ordered pizza to get some drink. I'll try eat some. I said, good. Then she says, are you able to do me a favor if you can? Can you call me at 7? Try wake me up. They will be coming round, and I don't want them to think something bad has happened to me if I'm sleeping. I've been sleeping through all my alarms. I don't understand it. Sorry to ask. I said, 7 p.m. my time? She goes, no, 7 in the morning. She goes, for me, I can't think what that would be for you. I said, what time is it there? She says, 21:51. I said, no. She goes, I'm a bit confused. I said, it is not 5:51 there. She says, it's nearly 10 p.m. here. I said, it has to be 9:52, so 2 a.m. for me? She goes, yes, I think you're the only person on something to ask who will be awake. I'm so sorry. I said, no worries. I set my alarm. She said, thanks so much. I want to be awake when they come. I appreciate it. Thank you. I said, no worries. She said, XX. Then I said, XX. And then she said, what if they can't help me? Am I stuck like this? I'm so scared, Carolyn. I'm so tired of being so scared. This is still December 3rd, 2020. I said, just take it 1 minute at a time. Don't be anxious and have hope. Okay, she said, December 4th. So they have said, like, depression is likely but common in brain tumor patients, and recommended speaking to my radiologist about the side effects and see if there's something to help. They are trying me on some tablets, but they could make it worse. And if so, I have to call straight away. I said, okay, well, think positive. Love you. She said, love you too. Had treatment. I said, good. How are you now? She said, I'm trying, but down, but trying. I said, keep going 1 minute at a time. She said, yeah, my sofa came though. I said, oh, good. Then I said, sorry I missed your call. Rosemary called. So now I have Sandra and Rosemary calling that, and they're, that's taking time away from her. So she goes, that's okay. Just answered, but it went dead. So wasn't sure. Maybe it was an accident dial. And then she starts posting about people again. December 5th, she says, I'm not very good. I can't cope with this. I'm sorry. I think they are going to have to take me away again, but I don't want that. Someone's coming. Why can't I do better? I'm pathetic. I'm sorry. I said, oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. The meds aren't working? Where are you? She said, I've slept. I'm at home. I said, are you going to treatment? She goes, I just don't want treatment anymore. I can't do it. I said, well, is that what you really want? What are they saying? Can't they get you to a counselor? Sorry, in and out of sleep. It's 8:30 in the morning. I'm trying to sleep. Okay? She's kept me up all night. I love you, I said. She goes, I went to treatment in the end. I said, what? You went to treatment? She said, yeah. Someone came to my house and helped me get there for mental health. I'm going to try to pull myself around and be stronger and not be a burden. And I'm going to reach down to the bottom of myself and I'm going to push through and get what help I can. I'm going to really, really try. I'm sorry for adding to your pain and taking any strength away. I love you. Thank you for always being there. And I'm going to push through. You're helping me so much, XXX. I said, oh, good. That is what you need. Sorry, I'm not doing more for you. I am having to fight my demons here and barely staying above water. It's my first Christmas without my son, right? But she didn't give a crap. Some days. She goes, oh, I know. And you don't have to be sorry. You've been my lifeline, and I feel I haven't been fair on you. Oh, you think so, Jaybells? And I'm sorry. Just because I have nobody doesn't mean I'm your responsibility. And I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I said, it's okay. And I'm not doing it because you have no one. I'm doing it because you're family, and I want to be there for you. Then she says, how's it going? You're getting your Christmas decks up? This is December 6th. I said, ugh, trying. How are you? She says, so I'm doing a little better, thanks. In fact, I've been very busy today, this afternoon, since I could pull myself round, and I actually can't wait to talk to you about it. Oh, this is when she was going on this speed, and she had all this stuff that she wanted me to do. So I said, hope you're doing well. Remember, Rosemary has the Christmas party tonight. She goes, has or had? I'm okay. Just been in the outhouse and dug out all my craft crap. Thursday, 2 p.m. for you with Scooter and Lisa D. Okay? This is when she told me, don't worry. I said, tonight, it's on. Yeah, I think 2 is on. She goes, okay, great. Get your Christmas sweater out. Scooter was like, I know I have one somewhere. I said, okay. Then she says, trying to sleep, was supposed to get 4 hours in, and my alarm is set. I made the mistake of putting on a movie and liking it. I said, LOL. December 9th, she said, I missed it. I hope you're having a great day. What was that thing? I can't even remember the name of the cult, the other thing that's not on Stars. I said, Seduced? She said, I sent the link to your email. I said, okay, I'll be there in a few. Then I said, running late. She goes, no worries, so is everyone. Scooter said she's awake and will be along soon too. Lisa is making Gary move upstairs, LOL. Thanks for that. I missed ya. It was fun. Night-night, sweet dreams, and happy Hanukkah. So, I'd missed you. So I said, you're welcome. It was fun. Happy Hanukkah and sweet dreams. I didn't even celebrate Hanukkah. This is so crazy. XX. Then she called me again. I said, sorry I missed your call. I was helping Luke with an essay. She goes, it's okay. December 15th. I said, hi, how are you? She said, oh, hi, I'm okay. How's things? I said, okay, just busy. She goes, right, hopefully good busy. I said, well, mostly always other crap to do, too. She goes, I can imagine. Then she goes, as for my sad life, I have nothing to do, and I've been in bed for the last hour and a half. And then she sends me something with Truthy Magoo. I said, I see all kinds of crap happening with him. She said, such a nutcase. Let's see. Then I told her someone emailed me and they have the same thing she had, and why don't you look at this? And it's freaked me out. She had the same thing. Then I said, are you okay? She didn't answer me. Okay? I said, are you okay? Did you see the email? I'm okay. I'm just going through the emails now. I'm a bit shocked, to be honest. It's hard reading. Lots of, I don't know, she said tease. I said, she says she's lived for years where doctors have said she should not. She goes, I'm sorry, I read your message in the middle of the night and forgot you had sent them till now. Then I said, and with an inoperable tumor. And she goes, I know, it's very strange. It's so strange. It's like you said, freaky. I'm getting through the emails. I said, did you finish? Sent you some emails. Everything checks out. She goes, oh, don't worry. I don't even think it doesn't check out. I haven't doubted that. I'm just so sad for her. I said, yes, but there is also great hope from her. She goes, I've read them and I'm reading and I want to take it all in. Yes, there is. You're right. I've not stopped crying, to be honest. I can't stand that, to be honest, because everybody that says that is a freaking liar. She says, it's really taken me back. I said, every time we were looking for success stories, they were on operable tumors, and here's a woman defying odds for years, which is where yours is. She goes, well, exactly. Hers has been diagnosed as a slow growing, though, but still very positive, especially where I am. I think the lowest I've been with it all for a while. I'm completely beside myself at the moment. There she is, because Sean's on to her and telling her she's got to tell us at the moment. So this has come at the right time. I said, that is what I mean. Then she said, I just feel so bad for her going through it, knowing what I've been through. No, you haven't been through anything. She goes, it's so hard to read. It's really hard. I said, it came at the right time, and all seemed to start tying things together for us both, and her persistence in her actions at the time she did. She goes, yeah, I don't know her, and I feel an overwhelming sense of pride for her. It's strange. I can't articulate that feeling well, but maybe you know what I mean. I said, yeah, I have a lot of feelings about her. It seems part of a divine plan is only someone with that insight of how I would need to read those emails the day after she sent them to restore some faith could never be random. She said, yes, that's what feels strange at the moment, especially after the other day when I said I was reaching out for my faith again with Hanukkah. It's freaking me out, not in a bad way. I said, right, so strange, even for a skeptical mind. She said, right, seriously. I said, I felt so gutted the day before yesterday, and then she was in the chat, and yesterday the emails were making me feel so much better because of what they represented, and there was only a slight feeling of that gutted feeling, and today, as it is sinking in, it's gone. She said, that's good, Carol, and I'm pleased for you, and yes, I'm really wrapping my head around that, and it's a lot to take in. I said, last night I looked at Ray's pic and asking him for a sign. I was watching the news, and the next thing on was about restaurants in New York City and the pandemic effects. And the guy talking had a restaurant called Raymond's, and they kept showing the name. And then this morning, oh gosh, and I found that little tray, and that's from that store. That's from that thing. I said, and the next morning, and they kept showing the name Raymond's. And then this morning, thinking about the emails, I said West Virginia, and it immediately brought to mind John Denver's Country Roads, and Ray always joking, if someone does not like that song, you should stop talking to them. Anyway, I hope you write to her. Look at the time of the message. I said, sinking feeling is gone. She goes, oh my goodness, that is a delightful story, to be honest. I will, but may take a moment. You know me, it takes a while. I really will, though, promise. It takes a lot for me to take it in, which I really hope you understand, and to put my feelings on the line, but I promise I will, and already helped me immensely. Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you so much. I really do love you. Thank you for being my family and my friend. I said, you are welcome, and feelings mutual. December 18th. She said, The Ripper is a series that just came out on Netflix, all about the murder of Peter Sutcliffe, the Yorkshire Ripper in the UK. It's a 4-parter if you're interested. So far, so good. It's got a good approach, thinking how the media influenced the case and how the attitudes of the victims were at those times. I said, okay, thanks. Did you reach out to that person? Did you notice last night you appeared in chat at the same time? She goes, I didn't reach out to her. No, not yet. I didn't notice that at all. I think I came in right at the end. I said, right, so did she. She goes, scratching my head. Did you send me something from Hobbycraft by any chance? I said, yes, Merry Christmas. She said, oh my goodness, are you serious? It's the perfect gift, and you shouldn't have. I absolutely adore it, all the things. I said, you're welcome. She goes, I love it, thank you. I almost turned them away, saying I hadn't ordered anything. Truly, you shouldn't have. It's the perfect gift. And then she sent me 2 calls, and I said, what do you mean they did send a duplicate order? It was really confusing because I placed the order and it let me pay through Amazon, but then it didn't show the order in my Amazon stuff, and I thought it wasn't ordered, so I ordered it all over again. And then I found out I had ordered it, and I went through, so I called my debit card because I didn't know how to cancel it. I forgot it was on the Amazon Pay, and then I looked at them, and then I tried to cancel it with the company, and I had to leave a Facebook message, and then I finally canceled it through Amazon Pay, and it was hoping it went through. But if you're saying they sent you 2 orders, and then I go, are you okay? December 20th. And then on December 21st, she says, has Truthy ever showed his face? Then she goes, I got a second package. It's strange. It's slightly different, but it has much of the same stuff. I'll call you later. We can figure it out. I said, oh my gosh, they must have sent the other. I did it by memory, so I might have made a mistake on an item or 2. If there's a local number on here, you could call and tell them. She goes, yeah. Is there a way to check if you were charged? I said, I was. She goes, okay. I said, I have to try and get back in the Amazon and see if they said anything, but it's so hard as it is not the regular part of my account. She goes, sure. Amazon's pretty good at refunding, but I'll get the box stuff back together with the return sticker ready. As soon as I opened it, I knew it was a duplicate, so I just left it. This one package has 3 decoupage papers in it. The first one doesn't, if that helps. I've unpacked the first one and recycled the box. I said, okay, I see a message on Facebook. They answered and said it was too late to cancel and it was already sent out and the package could be refused or sent back. But I don't understand because I canceled it immediately on Amazon, and I sent a Facebook message and I called my bank. I have to get into my Amazon and see what the freak. She said, dang it, why is it always so hard for us to send stuff? Ha 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 ha. This is the day before John's going to let me know. It's December 22nd. I said, I know, and I thought this would be easier. It's so weird because I ordered the first one. I've ordered the first order several days before this, and I got no information about it at all, and then it must not have went through. She said, okay, well, let me know what I need to do, and I can do it. I couldn't refuse it either. They left it outside. I said, I just sent them a message in Facebook. She said, it's really odd because normally they cancel it straight away for you when you request it. Immediately. A-holes, but she wrote the word out. Okay, sorry for the fuss. If it's any consolation, it was totally worth it. I do love the gifts. XXX. I said, LOL, is there a local number you can call to tell them to check their Facebook messages? She said, I was on hold for about an hour earlier, still trying to get my damn dog food. So yes, but it's super busy. I said, oh, so crazy. She goes, yeah, it's so nuts here, right? It's so nuts here right now. Let me check the returns thing. Has the order number on it, what I need. And then she goes, you've been to sleep and woke up or not yet? Okay, so tell me what the deal was. You ordered from Amazon UK and the order was fulfilled by Hobbycraft, or you ordered from Hobbycraft and paid with Amazon Pay? I'm not too sure. This is their Twitter if that helps. I said the second. I paid with Amazon and I canceled immediately. She goes, okay, well, I've just looked up the Hobbycraft returns and it seems fairly simple to do. I said, okay, but do they charge for shipping? She says it's free returns. Hold on, I just need this info. She goes, they will collect it for me. I said, all right. I have to get to my other computer because it has the one that I have the email on it because it's my Mommy Ramblings account. She goes, okay, sorry. I said, what are the terms and conditions? She says, it's hard to say. You can skim through it here. She puts them in there. I said, okay, but that is the courier. What about Hobbycraft? She goes, yes, but above the picture is taken from returns policy, Hobbycraft. I said, are you still on hold with them? She goes, no, I had to have a telehealth appointment. I'm calling Hobbycraft now. Then she missed a call with me. Then she said, they can come collect it tomorrow and refund in 10 days, within 10 days. She said, okay. I said, okay, I'm trying to contact through Amazon but it will not go through. She said the courier service won't be in operation for 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but they can collect tomorrow, Thursday or the 28th. There's a place I could go, and they said Amazon and PayPal can't be returned in person. They said the contact U.S. form was the quickest. And then I gave her this stuff she needed, and then she said, great. I said, yeah, but do they refund or do they charge for the shipping and restocking? This is where Amazon can call to in my account, but they need a number. She goes, I'm not sure. They don't really do that here. Free returns and full refund, it says. Did you get free shipping? I said, yes. She goes, sometimes the only thing you're not refunded is the initial shipping cost. I said, okay. She goes, okay, well, this will all go straight through then. And then she said, was it Carolyn Mommy Rambling's email? I said, no, and it was this email. She goes, okay, but that was the email you used for the order where you got the confirmation? I said, that one. She goes, okay, great. I'll sort the return out then, my dear. I said, ugh, sorry for such a frustrating gift. She said, oh, don't worry, I really appreciate it. Then she's talking to me about Truthy Magoo again. So then she goes, I can't believe all those girls. My gosh, such a jerk. Let's see. Then she says, yeah, she says, a bit of a squint watching stuff on a computer from the sofa, but at least I fixed the computer. And this is, if I show you this, you'll see where she sat during the confession video, okay? Hold on. We're almost at the end, guys, of this message thing. Okay, here we go. Oh, goodness. Okay, so let me show you now. This was where she was sitting when she was talking to us with the confession. Look, there's the other Christmas tree, and I believe she had a bigger Christmas tree back on this side. So she still had that long skinny tree that she had. She got all her books there. This is where she went and grabbed, during the confession video, she grabbed some documents for somewhere like that up there. Yoga mat. Don't know what that is over there. Shark, does that say? Or bows. Nutcracker over there. Oh, this cup here. Jimmy got that cup. It's from Woodstock. Gave it to her when she was here. She has the Yeti. And that's where she was sitting. Okay, I don't know what she has on the computer there, but okay. Let me go back. Bit of a squint watching stuff, she said, on the computer from the sofa, but at least I fixed the computer. I said, see, that's how you watch stuff? She said, I have a projector in the bedroom, but yes, no TV. December 23rd, that's when Sean called me. She said, I hope you're having a good day. By then I knew. I didn't answer her. Then she said, hey, this video's for Luke. Tell him happy birthday from me and happy Christmas Eve to you all. Love you. I'm finishing up the Christmas drawing too. I'll email it to you in a bit, and I will let you know when I have it. I said, okay, thanks. And she said, did anything come in the mail? I said, did they pick up the other package? She said, yes. Then she said, this is Christmas. She said, are you okay? I hope you're all doing well. And Luke had a nice Christmas. And Luke had a nice birthday. Merry Christmas. I said, did you get any type of confirmation that it was sent back? They don't show it. Is there a tracking number? I'm okay. She said, I got a collection receipt and we'll get a tracking once it's arrived at their depot. It won't update with Hobbycraft until they receive it back and process it, I believe. I'll share tracking when I get it. She said, it will be okay. I've returned the stuff with this courier company before. I imagine things are slightly slower with Christmas. Everything in this country literally stops and closes for a few days over Christmas. She goes, Merry Christmas to you all. Lots of love. And she tried to call me twice. And she goes, hey, I'm sorry for the calls. I just was calling to wish you a happy Christmas and check you're okay. I know you'll be busy and stuff. Sorry. I hope you're okay. So I just said, sorry, super busy. Merry Christmas. Because I didn't want to talk to her. Because I knew she was a fake. She goes, that's okay. I'm sorry for disturbing. Have a lovely day. I emailed the Christmas pic. I said, thanks so much for the gift cards, because she sent me a gift card. She didn't even send them to everything. She was like, I said, she goes, okay, having a nice day. Did Jimmy's card arrive? That one was a physical card. It won't let me track it. And that was a lie. He never got anything. She goes, sorry for all the messages. I'm really sorry if I got in the way today. Anyway, take care. I'll leave you to it, X. I said, just taking a rest before we eat. No card arrived. She goes, okay, enjoy. December 26th. She goes, oh my freaking gosh. They updated tracking on Jimmy's gift card. The 5th of January, some Christmas gift. What a shambles this year. I'm so sorry. I said, it's okay. Could you send me a picture of the collection receipt you have for the Hobbycraft package? I have to send it to them in my Amazon message. And she called me twice again at 11:38 and 11:53 a.m. I said, sorry, I'm running late for a telemeeting. This telemeeting was with all the people in London. I can't talk now, sorry. Can you just send the collection receipt? Thanks. She said, that's okay. I wouldn't have kept you long. No, that's why I was calling, because I've made a mistake. I'm a bit frantic over it now. I said, what? She said, it's just a bit to write down, and I want to make sense. The package was still sat outside. It's fine. It was in my outhouse. I just made a big error and had it assigned to drop off at their collection spot, not collection. The receipt was on the side, but that was the receipt. I've confused myself. I said, I thought you had the collection receipt in hand, so you're saying it's still there? She said, I did your mommy rambling email too. I just went through the online track and it forwarded you the code for the drop-off. I'm an idiot. And I know you're angry with me over this, and I'm so sorry. The receipt is what I've confused myself with. It's the RTN thing that I left out to remind myself of the collecting. I've confused myself. I didn't even check the package until tonight. It was that I left out. I said, isn't that the one that comes in the package? When you get it, I'm confused. She said, yes. And I left it out because I didn't know if it needed to go in the package or not. Or if it was to remind me to ask. I've been confused about this whole thing. I know, that's why I'm calling. I said, I need to get this sorted with Amazon Pay, and thought it was picked up. She said, it's easy to fix. I just need to book it in properly. I'm sorry, I got confused. I was doing so much that day. What was she doing? She said she doesn't do anything but stay in bed. And I'm sorry. I just want you to talk it through, and I'll screenshot it every step of the way. I'm sorry. I said, I am late, and I have an appointment. I really want to take care of this. She said, I'm sorry, we can do it afterwards. I said, you're not able to figure out how to send it back? I thought you said you do this a lot. I'm getting confused. Was it stolen? She said, I'm a bit panicked now. That's all. And I got so confused with the dumb receipt thing. I just want you to know it was legit this time. That's all. No. And I can see the bike she said she bought and it's there. She said, I brought it in. It's right here. I said, why are you panicked? She said, because you're mad at me. I'm holding you up. I'm just a bit confused, and I know for some reason you don't want to speak with me. See, she knows that. She knows I know, okay? You don't want to speak with me. I'm sorry. I'll sort it. I have returned with them before. I'll screenshot each thing. I have all the details you gave me. I'll take care of it. I'm sorry. I said, you are jumping to conclusions. I am frustrated with the whole process with Hobbycraft, but I thought it was on its way back. I cannot talk because I have an online meeting shortly I have to get ready for. I have not been taking proper care of myself, and so I need to focus on that. See, at this point I was angry with her. I knew she was a fraud. I knew she was a fake. I knew she's kept me from so much stuff. I said, but I get anxiety over stuff like this and getting my account straight. She said, sorry, do your meeting. I'll sort it. I made a mistake, that's all. You'll find in your Mommy Ramblings email that I'd arranged for it to be collected from a drop-off. And I'll get a bit confused sometimes with what I'm doing. I'm really, really sorry. I'll fix it. Do your meeting. I'll make sure it's right. I have to put in my email address to get the info for your box. So I'm going to make sure. So I'm not sure if you get anything. I put the email address attached to the order. I'll just forward you what I get. I should have from the start. I'm so sorry to give you anxiety. Then she goes, Monday, 28th, I'm so sorry. And I say, why does this say September? She goes, wow, that must be an error. What the heck? I said, I just got this, but I did not get anything from the time you filled it out the other day. This says September. She goes, no, that's because I'll show you what I did. I clicked the top one. I already went through the motions before when we were texting back and forth to get the earliest collection point. But when I went back through it and clicked the top, I didn't even look before. There was an error, and I thought I had. I have no freaking idea why it says September. You can see from what I posted, it says December. I went back through it today to track it. It's because I'm insane, and I didn't realize what I'd done. I said, all right, but even so, I would expect an email since you asked for that info to fill out the form. I don't really understand, but I will have to take care of it later. My meeting is starting soon. She said, I've used the wrong email going through the motions. I've used Mommy Ramblings. I'm really, really sorry. This time I used this info here. Then she goes, I'll leave you in peace now. I just wanted to say, I can't tell you how sorry I am for the mistake. I genuinely confused myself and I made a mistake and stressed out over it. I'm really, really sorry to add more stresses to you. The last thing I want to do is get in the way of you being okay. Carolyn, please, can you tell me what is going on? Carolyn, please, can you tell me what is going on? Please, I'm worried to death here. Please, can somebody speak to me? Please. I said I received some unsettling information about you that I need to check out. And you know what she just goes, this, okay, what do you need? And I said, I was told you fabricated everything. And she goes, okay, sorry, bit stunned. I said, well, are you sick with a tumor? Are you working at SOS? And she goes, the person who has said they won't let me communicate with them asked me not to. The person who has said this, the person who has said this won't let me communicate with them. Asked me not to. I haven't been able to explain myself or anything. Will you speak with me? I do understand if you won't. I said, What to explain? Do you have a brain tumor? Did you have a baby? Were you married to Alessandro? She goes, yes, but I haven't been honest. But that is true, and I want to tell you. I said, I will send a Zoom link. She said, okay. I've got it. I'll be less than a minute. I said, okay. She said, is Sean going to be there? I said, no. She's not there. She's not here. She goes, how do you have her link, though? I'm confused. I said, she spoke to me in here. She has left. Are you coming or not? She said, yes. And then I said, why was the return not picked up today? I am going to contact the company and let them know you will not return the package and to bill you for it as I file fraud with my debit card. She says, it was picked up today. He scanned it and collected it. I said, there is no email and I would have been notified. She said, he knocked on the door. I didn't leave it out. He collected it. I said, it does not matter. The scan would have sent me an automatic email. You're lying. I said, what do you have to show for the package being returned? Nothing, right? You're lying. The company said I would get an email. It would have sent me an auto reply. Stop your lying. She said, I'm not lying. He collected the package. He scanned it and said, that's the one. It says above, if he didn't receive the email he collected, he scanned it and gave me nothing. I said, I would have had an update. There is no update. She goes, I don't know why. I do not know. I no longer have the package. He scanned it and collected it. Was there a number in the email you received to confirm a collection date, a 16-digit number or an 8-digit number? I said a 16. She goes, okay, you can use it to track, or I can track it now, and if nothing shows, I'll call them. I don't have the 16-digit number, though. I said, I will try that myself. She goes, okay, I'll give you the link. She gives me the link there. Then the last thing I said to her, was that you are truly so evil. You're a fraud. And I said, and I will be pressing charges. I said, I'm going to be contacting the FBI because this is international wire fraud. I said, you are truly so evil. How disgusting, I said. You added to my grief over my son during the holiday season. Okay, and that was the end of the WhatsApp with her. And then let me see here. I want to go back to, because I have messages with me, her, Bella, and let me see when these ended. Let me see. These ended in April of 2020. These are before Ray. And these were mostly, like memes and stuff were posted. But I think there may be some voice from her. Let me see. I want to see when she was here, because when she was coming up, I remember they were talking in here about her coming over, when she was coming over. Hold on. Okay, hold on. So here's February. They were really going to town when she was here in this group. So hold on, because we were talking while she was here. Okay. Let's see. Jen says, I just woke up. This is January 31st. She said, morning. Somebody called her morning sleepyhead. I said, it's only 8:39. It's not like you have somebody you know. It's not like you're really late. Let me see here. So I think this is January 31st. She's got to be coming here on the 2nd or something. Let me see. They were always talking about what was going on in the channel, okay? About people that were trolling and this and that, and talking about Letitia. I've rarely chatted in here. They were chatting all the time. Let's see. Okay, I haven't trolled too much. Okay, let's see what she says here. What is this? Because she was there at this time. One more sleep, she said, and she's doing this thing. And then she said, I know, excited. How daft is that? But I am. That was one of them. And she's going, we're so excited, excited. Don't tell Carolyn how much I swear. Okay. And they're going on and on and on. About how she said, she's coming. And she goes, oh, I have 1,000 apologies. Okay, let me see here. She's like, no more sleeps. And they're all happy. And then she's like, on the train, this is a grimace and excitement. Okay, so here's a picture of her on her way here. Let me shake this one. Oh boy. Okay. Okay. Okay, on the train, that is a grimace, excitement, cause plane and sky, she said. Just so nobody thinks I'm fibbing. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Just so nobody thinks I'm fibbing. And she posted a picture of herself on the whatever she was on, some kind of Looks like a train or something. Not even a train, almost like a monorail. Let's see. I'm trying to see. Dropped off my bag. Now I'm preparing myself for security. I freaking hate it, she said. Growl. Then she said, yeah, no socks today. I always get stopped in by the metal detector too and have freaking biatch, but she said the word, Janice, feel me up. And then she said, she called her something really not good. And then she said, I don't know, she goes, no, I'll refrain from socking my drugs given they may check their, she said, it's cold as hell today. I have tights and socks. And then she goes, okay, last cigarette until I can't have one for like 12 hours. I'm trying to see when she lands. And she says a video where she landed, I guess, and she's on the thing. And then she said she's at the Courtyard, Chelsea. She said her friend in North Carolina has a tornado where she is currently flying from. They'll let her through security. Then, oh, okay, no, now she's showing the plane. She's showing the flight path. She hasn't landed yet. Let's see. She said it wasn't bad. It was a little choppy. Then she showed pictures. She said clear and sunny. Let's see. Oh, finally leaving my room. Let's see what she said. She goes, all over the city. I feel like I'm in London. Then she said, I have not had a root beer yet. Nope. So I'm going for lunch. They better have some. It's hella windy. Weather has claimed it's glorious now. Then she showed her lunch. She said, Vietnamese for lunch. I forgot how big portions are here. I said, you have a guest for lunch? As long as you're not having a guest for lunch. I said, my mojo is gone with the wind. I literally want to go back to bed. My computer's driving me nuts. And it's not that I have 291 tabs open. And she goes, no, I didn't eat my guest. My friend was still around. I thought she was leaving sooner, so we met up for Vietnamese food, which is gorgeous, by the way. She goes, damn, sorry you got the blues. Who cares? Hang out in bed for a bit. I said, no, not the blues. No, get up and go. And she says, we have snow. Oh, it stopped. And then she showed me the train schedule where I had to go pick her up. Let's see. She said, yes, it has. I'll be heading out in a few hours, taking the 1:30 train. She goes, well, you don't have to rush it. I can sit about let's see here. Okay, she said she was coming on the train. Hang on. So I'm just going through this because there's two other people in this group chat, and a lot of stuff they say is not really. It's just like memes and stuff like that. Trying to get some voice things from Jen because. But I know when she was with me, she kept talking to them, so I know that there's stuff on here from then. Okay, she said, let me see. Okay, she's still not saying what's going on here. Let me see, I know she's got two. Jen says, okay, LOL. She said, oh yes, it was fun. February 14th. Okay, so they didn't really talk much until we. Hope you're having a fun jam session, Jen. Please invite Carolyn to play the tambourine. Oh, they said, okay, someone said, I asked myself if it's possible. How are you feeling today, Jen? And how is Carolyn with her pale skin? Okay, let's see when she's going back. Oh my goodness. Jen said she wanted to get you this. I told her it was a bit insensitive. She might take it the wrong way. Oh, then we texted. I said, here is Ollie's. Showed the picture of us at Ollie's, which I've had here. Then Jen said, oh, I don't mean to laugh, but I was. And Jimmy. Carolyn talking to. Oh, then they show the Jimmy falling down the stairs. Okay. Then Jen says, does she want people to say, don't go tell us anymore? Jen says, not at all. Shower liner with metal grommets. They don't. That's what I picked up. Bella was showing me large yogurts. Jen says, no, I was talking about a single serve pot. Okay. Trying to see if she says, oh my gosh, I've seen this. Like here she was like kind of acting like normal all the time, that she was going back and forth with memes and stuff and posting her and the dog and she just got her bike over there, and she said she just got the guitar. And she said, I can't believe it's taken me 20 years to purchase a new electric. I'm thrilled. Then let's see. I got caught. Let's see. Oh, this was after the trying to find another one from Jen. Another voicemail, because they leave a lot of voice messages here. Trying to see if she has one. They're talking about digestives, the cookies. Let's see. Okay. That's the same picture of the bus. They're talking about how cold it is. Okay, here's a big thing from Jen. Let's see. She says, I absolutely didn't mean to blurt it out like that. It had half the thoughts missing from my head. Douglas had very little experience with P-files, and the majority of experience came from killers with mommy issues, and while I agree to a large extent with aspects, his theory is conflated based on his experiences and testimony. So for that I disagree. It is an inaccurate leap based on what he provides as evidence to assume what he does, but that doesn't mean it's not right. It just doesn't fit for the evidence he uses to support his theory. Then she says, she's talking about someone, oh, this is like, according to stuff that we talked about with John Douglas, she's going on in here, like these continue from text to text. Let's see. Then this is, oh my gosh. Hello, Carolyn. I was just speaking about that. They can't leave CW alone. It's absurd. Absurd. It's insane, but they are obsessed over Watts and try to understand him. They don't just say, why does that matter? He's just a monster, and people are whacked. This is old Genevieve talking. She said, exactly, engage in an interesting discussion. I hate how she asked if people agreed with Douglas, and nobody answered, and yet they are all, it doesn't matter. Why doesn't it matter? Then she said, exactly, as I kept saying, what did true crime look like before Watts? How did people do it? Revisit that now because it's beyond. Then she says, LOL, no, you're right. I've been fuming all morning. Then she says, she really needs to STFU. I don't even know who she's talking about here. Then she said, well, they have an opinion based on not reading it or listening, which is completely uninformed. It's a joke. So many people did that with the book. Disagreeing is great. I The whole discipline is debate, debunk, refute, support, but all based on discourse and informed rhetoric. Then they just keep talking about like what's going on in the channel, like anybody that comes in, they discuss everything about it. Okay, then here she's got a big thing here. She goes, when I have to talk to people through how to critique people properly, I recommend that before criticism is being stated to a person, the critic should try to get in rapport with the person being criticized, get in sync with the other person on the same wavelengths, however you want to dress it up. If that is not possible because they are enemies, the best thing may be not to express the criticism at all or get a mediator. It may take considerable strategy in order to find a way of making a criticism that is genuine rather than shooting their mouth off. It may be wise if people say nothing until the right time and place arrives to make the criticism. And under the several required skills and technique headings, I'd say the key one is knowledge. Critics should research the subject of their criticism to maintain the factual integrity of their criticism, aka actually watch a live or two to know what the heck it's all about. You'll see why people vehemently, not strangely, defend the creator as they have been there every night for over a year. I'd say that makes you no critic but a troll. Good freaking day, sir. Then she says, I ran a whole series of classes on the philosophical psychology of criticism, so yeah. No, if I say you're a shithead, you can rest assured I thought about that remark a whole lot. Then she says, LOL, I've cracked myself up now. How sad is that? Ha ha. Then she said, also, on the theme of being judgy, can Sakura just stop with the cats every 5 seconds? She says the words cat or kitten as often as I use punctuation, and it's causing a knee-jerk reaction of me wanting to throw something when she says it. And then she posted a picture of some food. Okay. Let's see. Mostly memes and stuff. Okay, let's see here this now. Oh, there's the picture of the rocking squirrel. I'm gonna get him fixed. Okay. Let's see. She's not. Okay, then she says, my friend from Italy is traveling over for work this week as usual, and I let her use my flat when she's here for cooking, etc., and we hang out. So she has said she didn't want to take any chances on getting me sick if she was to pick anything up, so traveled with a mask and constant washing. Apparently on the tube at Tottenham Hale, this group for the girls cornered her to make fun of her for wearing it and said, stop being so scared. So she took her mask off and coughed and said that cough has just got off the plane from Milan. Then she proceeded to touch them as she barged past, muttering away offenses at them. Ha 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 ha, take a bow. She didn't come from Milan, but they weren't to know. And this is why she's your friend, somebody said. And she said, I have to say I was very proud, silly biatches. What is this? March of 2020. Because this is going to end in April of 2020. There's no more from this. I don't know what the deal was, why it was no more after that. And once I didn't talk in it, nobody did. Let's see. March. I don't see much on Genevieve in this one. Let's see, they're talking about stuff. I'm not scared or fearful of it in general. She's talking about Rona. I just go about my day. All people need to do is be clean, and they'll do it, and they'll be right. It should run its course with the end of flu season or be controllable by that point. Just don't like how Italy is treating patients with it. Completely inept and reckless. Let's see. Okay. Then she said there are two different things that she is talking about. What Carolyn did isn't an interesting plunge into the human psyche. It's a well-established thing. Malapropism, and under the definition of that are often words that lead to humor. What she did is something very different and simply called misnaming. And she said, let's see, my pain is fairly crap, but I'm doing a lot better, thanks. I thought she had some sound bites in here, let's see. Genevieve says, I may or may not have shared this before. If I haven't, it won't be the last. I do it every so often. It's hysterical. It cracks me up. I don't know what it is that she's sharing. She's mostly laughing here with the two of them. I really wasn't in there very much. Oh, then she said, played a crap ton on my new guitar this morning. Ha ha ha. But they are always callous to heck anyway, so I don't feel a thing. She showed a picture of her hand. And they were like, Carolyn's so quiet, I hope you're doing okay. Because I didn't talk a lot in here. They did. It was like crazy. Okay, let me see. Oh, this is B. Oh, I forgot it. She said that this was B. Hold on a minute. Oh my gosh. She said, me and my mini me. This is B. She is now Dr. B. Oh, wow. That's not B. I don't know who it is. They told me, I think, who it was in that confession or something. They said it was a friend. let me show you this picture she posted, and lying that it was the dog walker. What a liar. You are such a liar, Genevieve. The dog walker, yeah. I forgot about this one. Her and Mini Me, yeah. You and Mini Me, you and Mini Nothing. You're just a liar. I don't even know if anybody's here, but I'll show you. I'm going to kick off in a minute too, but I'm almost done with this thread, so I just want to finish this one. Okay. All right, let me show you this one now. This is her right there. Okay. That's what she said is her mini-me. Give me a brick. All right, let me see here. All right, so, okay. She said, I'll catch up with other comments later, but this is a proud as F day. So sorry it doesn't fit the thread. I'll get there. Let's see here. Okay, I'm going through this. There's a lot of stuff in here. Okay, Jen's talking about Janelle. Block these horrible people. Oh, it's with B and her external examiner before the external flies back home. Have to show hospitality when they travel, she's saying. Okay. All right, did you hear what they say about Corey Feldman? I don't know what they said. First, then she says, first coronavirus case at my work today. A student at her work today. What work today? You don't work. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, let's see. Oh, she's going on about a few people. Oh, then she showed moving into her apartment. Wait, is this her new apartment? No. It was somebody else. Then she said, I can relax now. Elvis is all set for a good long while. And then he got Dental Life and a huge thing of Lily's Kitchen dog food. Oh, then she said over here, all right, back at you. I have a low-grade fever, but I'm okay. Watching the movie Outbreak of all things, she said. LOL. And then they were showing how there's no food on the shelves. Okay. Feeling okay. Hope you're picking up. Let's see. I'm just going to go through this because they're just mostly talking about Elvis was flat on her back and my arms. That's how I woke up this morning. Let's see. Okay, there's not too much more here from her. I thought there were some voicemails in here. Here's one voicemail, but I don't know what. No, that's a song. Showed the crackle. He said it was stunning. She said, oh, you're awesome. I love that you're crafting. They're talking about supermarkets, yada yada. So there's really not, like, she didn't do a lot of stuff in this group text with me and her and Bella and Kaz, yeah. Okay, so, all right, let me get out of that. Now I have any other things with her here. I'm just trying to see. So, trying to see what's up. Okay, I think I'm going to end there to that for Kaz, not for Jaybells, because I have to go on to the other things. There's a couple of other videos of her I want to watch where she's opening mini brands with us, and she gets very upset because Scooter didn't send her the right thing. And I think there's another video where she comes on. So I'll have to do that. But she has an ailment every day. You say, Victoria, yeah, but I will go on and we'll have to do this. But I'm going to do the word cookies. Carolyn, do you know Curly Sue? Yes, and I want to go and listen to it, manager, to see if she has ever used bits of that, some bits in there. Because she said that was her favorite movie of all time. Her all-time favorite movie. So I have to see if she uses bits and pieces in there. Because I think she does. I truly think she does. And I wonder who she identifies with in that movie, because I haven't seen that movie in ages and ages and ages. So I do want to go and listen to it and see what it is, you know? Sweet dreams, Victoria. Tide. Very good, Victoria. Hi, little lady. Good night, little lady. I didn't even see you come in, little lady. Sorry. Oh, egg. All right, I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow. I love you guys. God bless. Prayers. I still can't find that Dutch processed cocoa. Can you believe that? I went to a store today with Gia to try to find it. Locally, it's not. I'm going to have to see. I don't know what. So crazy. Everybody be good. Goodbye now. Love you.